Hi guys, and welcome to my channel. This is Trinity here, and today's video I wanted to do about some of my thoughts over time and cultures and mythology on the origins of the tarot. Nobody knows the true origins of the tarot, so these were just some of the thoughts that I had about maybe where did some of the ideas come from. So, like starting with the Fool, for example, right? The Fool can be from a choice of many of stories throughout history. And I just wonder if these tarot cards, maybe some of the imagery and the thoughts behind these were put through from mythology, whether it be Norse, Greek, Egyptian, what have you. Like new journeys, like with Zeus's son, Perseus, stories like that. Could it have stemmed from there? I don't know. What about the magician, right? So there are many magicians throughout history, right? Such as Merlinus Ambrosius, or Merlin, better known, or magical practices in different cultures, right? So what about our high priestess? I mean, we have like Boaz and Joaquin, which is obviously, we know where that comes from, and that doesn't have to do with, I wouldn't think, like, obviously, there's a lot of spiritualness in the way of sorcery and paganism and different things of that nature, but we have, what if it's stemming from sorceresses throughout history? Mythology, we have those like Circe, who is capable of transforming people into animals, right? Stuff like that. And Morgana, who was half-sister to Arthur. She moved to the magical island of Avalon, and she learned magic from the Lady of the Lake. She actually swayed her to teach her magic, right? Then we have cards like the Empress, right? And the Empress, there was a Greek goddess, Demeter, who fertilized the earth, and she was known as the goddess of green. She was one of the original 6 Olympians, and she had a daughter who was Persephone, right? So she was a mom too. Then we have our emperor, and I can think of lots of Greek gods that would have been great emperors, right? Zeus, Poseidon, Hades, to name a few, controlling the weather, the sea, the underworld. I mean, then we have like the Hierophant, which is more religious in nature, but also about uniformity, whether it be, in religion or structure, community. The word Hera actually is translated in Homeric Greek as the goddess of woman, marriage, family, childbirth, font being a fountain or Baptist type water, right? We have the lovers, which are depicted in many, many stories throughout centuries, Greek, Norse, and otherwise. I mean, look at Romeo and Juliet. Adam and Eve could have been and probably had some part in the lover's card. The Chariot. When I think of the Chariot, I think of, could it have stemmed from Hades wanting to marry Demeter's daughter and having to trick her one day to get her to leave her daughter unattended so he could sweep her away on his chariot driven by black horses, right? The Strength card, I think of Atlas, the Titan god of endurance, or Hercules. able to lift over 100 tons and had superhuman strength, right? When I look at the hermit, I think of seclusion from society, but, and most people that are depicted as hermits or what have you, it's due to religious beliefs or reasons. I don't really have anybody in mind offhand when I think of the hermit, because it'll come to me when I'm looking through the cards, but the Wheel of Fortune, most likely a pagan depiction, but I mean, there's so many depictions. I mean, I would think this would be our Wheel of the Year, but that it doesn't have to be. I mean, even the Mayans had their own calendar, right, and way of telling time, and when I see this, I think calendar time, right? When I look at justice, the justice card, Nemesis, or I think they called her Astrea, the virgin goddess of justice. She was depicted with the symbols always including a sword, a lash, a dagger, a measuring rod, scales, right? My favorite depiction of all when I look at this card is that of Odin. Now, he was the god of healing, death, knowledge, sorcery, poetry, battle. He actually hanged himself upside down from a tree for 9 days and 9 nights in order to gain knowledge of the other worlds and be able to understand the runes. So I only did the first 12 major arcana because this video was like not planned. I was just going through my cards and thinking about how I would like to share some of these ideas or thoughts with you, because I just thought they were kind of cool. You know, things I was thinking about and applying it somehow to the tarot, some of the knowledge of some of the things that I know. So anyway, guys, if you like my video, please like and subscribe. I'd appreciate that. Share. And have a great day and blessings to you. Be kind.